And that takes me up until when I auditioned for The Flash. So yeah, well, it's kind of crazy story. So it was during the pandemic, and auditions were few and far between because nobody knew what was really happening, as I'm sure you know. And so my agent rang me, said, I have this audition for you. It's to be someone's acting double in a movie. And I was like, okay. So they sent me this really sort of augmented version of the first scene where Barry is looking at the TV screen and seeing. Can I talk? Sorry, I can talk about the movie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Of
yeah,
course, cool. The scene in the cafe at the beginning when he's getting a sandwich and he's like, I really need to rush on the sandwich. There's something happening. But they changed like the names. Like it didn't say Alfred, it said like someone else's name. And my Barry's character was called something else as well. Um, and it was great. Sorry, it wasn't great because what I did is I did the tape and then I sent it off and then I got cut. I
really.
didn't get past the first round. I didn't get past the first round. This is a true story. And Ezra went on to tell me why later. The reason being is they'd found someone else, as they found another guy who was, who was very much like Ezra, was a really great actor and stuff like that. But Ezra, for some reason, was just like, actually, I just want one more try, one more pass. Give me one more pass at other people. Something was like, wasn't 100%. And then, yeah, so they did another recall and then I got in. So I went all the way down to London and I did a COVID test on the Monday. And then on the Wednesday, they called me in and I had to wear this all black cat suit, like lycra tight, skin tight black suit thing. And there was a team of about 5 or 6 people from wardrobe department measuring me, measuring every inch of me, drawing around my feet. They took like a wig, they wrap your head in this like cling film to like measure your head and stuff. And whilst I was in there, there was this really tall Argentinian guy, and I just kind of started chatting to him. And I play rugby, and Argentina's famous for rugby as well. And we were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, cool, nice to meet you," blah blah blah. And then I went back to my room, and I was like, "Who was that guy?" Oh my god, it was Andy Muschietti, the director. I had no idea. And I was like, "What did you?" Oh, he directed it. I was like, "Oh wow, right, okay, cool, 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 yeah." So that was funny. And then on Friday, on the last day, there was this chemistry read, and the scene was basically the first scene in the bedroom between the two Barrys, where they're, do you have a plane that can fly? Do you have a boat that can fly, or a plane that can swim, or something like this? And all that scene, and basically, I had to learn both sides of the scene. So I had to learn one Barry, and I had to learn the other Barry. And yeah, and I thought it was going to be like a huge big room with like 10 people, 2 cameras, like someone there to read the lines with me. It wasn't. At the end, it was just me, Andy, and Ezra. And I met Ezra Miller for the first time. And up until that point, I had been studying Ezra Miller so closely. I'd been studying their movements, their mannerisms, all their movies. I was studying them so closely in like interviews and things, so I could kind of pick up on their little sort of like nuances and ways they move their hands and sort of things that like they really like doing. Um, and stuff. And so when I went into the room to meet them for the first time, I was a little bit starstruck. I was like, oh God, you're the person I've been studying. So it was kind of crazy. Anyway, we sat down, we chatted, we did the audition, and for 40 minutes, we pretty much laughed from start to finish. It was just fun. Dude, let me tell you, it was just fun. And when an audition like that, I think, as I'm sure maybe anybody who's ever been a trying professional actor knows that, or has ever done an interview for a job that they really want, when it goes well, it's almost worse. And let me tell you why I say this, because you kind of start dreaming about the job. You start thinking about the people, the places, the money, the like their lifestyle, everything that goes with it, because it went well. And you're like, oh God, I really want this. Sometimes if you go for an interview and it's like went like really bad and you're like, oh, it's crap. And then you're just like, okay, right, fine, forget about it, forget about it. But when they go good, you do not want to let them slide. And this one went really well. Fortunately for me, it went very well for me, and they called me back in on the Sunday to come in for scanning, and then a few days later, I got the phone call from my agent. And I have 2 agents. I have one who tells me I get the job, and one who tells me I don't. Okay, and the one
Mhm.
who tells me I don't is the one who calls me, and he says hello, and I'm like, oh, I can hear his voice, and I'm like, I didn't get the job. I didn't get the job. Hello, and he goes, yeah, I've heard, and I was like, oh, okay. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, well, you got it. And I went like this. I said to him, I went, yeah, 1 second, please, 1 second. And I stood up and I just went, and I screamed through the roof. And then he said, yeah, we'll discuss it later. So I hung up. And the first thing I did was I put my headphones in. And it was pouring rain in London at that time. And I ran through Hyde Park with my arms like an airplane, like a literal child, like a kid running through the rain, screaming and laughing. Just the biggest high of my life, man. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So that's kind of a long-winded story of how I got it. But yeah, there you go. My name is Ed Wade. I play the other Ezra Miller in the movie. Subscribe to this channel and like it because it's awesome. And your boy Julian is the boss. Enjoy.